When after many years the raptor beak let loose of you, he dropped your tiny body in the scarab-colored hollow of a carriage, left you like a finch, wrapped in its nest of linens wound, with linden leaves in a child's cardboard box. Tonight the wind is hunting as the leather seats of swings go back and forth with no one in them. As certain and invisible as red scarves silking endlessly from a magician's hollow hat, and the spectacular catastrophe of your endless childhood is done.
This is an analysis of the poem The Halo That Would Not Light by Lucy Brock-Brodia. When first looking at the title, one might think of an angel because of the word halo. Then it says that would not light, making us think that the angel might be a fallen angel or a guardian angel who failed at its job. The speaker is unknown, but it is clear that they are speaking to us, the readers, because they use words like you when talking about the subject, like saying, let loose of you, or he dropped your tiny body. The poem can be summarized as failing to have a good childhood, and in the end growing up and leaving that childhood behind. The poem is very figurative. You can notice in the first stanza it starts off with irony, as it says, when after many years the raptor beak let loose of you. The use of a raptor, which is a bird of prey, is different than using a stork, which is the bird from nursery rhymes. This already shows that the child did not have a good childhood. Next it says he dropped your tiny body in a scarab-colored hollow. The scarab-colored hollow could symbolize a baby carriage or a crib, but by using hollow it shows that the baby might not have had a good home or a good bed. Next it says, of a carriage left you like a finch, wrapped in its nest of linens wound. This is a simile to make you sound small, innocent, and fragile, just like a baby bird in its nest, with linden leaves in a child's cardboard box. A cardboard box gives a sense of abandonment. Maybe the child was left on a doorstep. Where it says, tonight the wind is hover, you can see the subject shift from the child to the subject childhood. Hunting as the leather seats of swings go back and forth with no one in them. The creepy, empty swing sets can represent and symbolize a stolen childhood, that there wasn't much fun. The next two stanzas go together as it says, certain and invisible as red scarves silking endlessly from a magician's hollow hat in the spectacular catastrophe. The magicians and magic tricks are fun childhood entertainment, but sadly the magician's hat is hollow. Inside a magician's hat, one might expect a bunny or some flowers, which is fun, but instead it's empty, showing that the childhood is gone and that there is no bunny and no fun. And the spectacular catastrophe of your endless childhood is done. A juxtaposition is used when it says spectacular catastrophe. There is nothing spectacular about an awful childhood, but what is spectacular is that the subject finally made it through. The last line is done, period. The period is important because it shows that there is no going back. The tone of the poem is depressing. The use of irony and symbols gives off the feeling of abandonment and emptiness. When looking back at the title, it is still a possibility that it's talking about a guardian angel who did not show up. But more likely, it's talking about the subject. Children are often called little angels. Once the subject's childhood ended, the halo left with them. But it can also be seen as the child never had a halo because of the awful childhood, so there was no innocence. The theme of this poem is that while you might have an awful childhood or past, you can still make it through.